Hi and hello. I forgot what day it is. I think it's September 17th, something like that. Don't know.
Hi, I'm Amber. I'm a 24-year-old higher education professional in Oklahoma. Welcome to my humble abode of salt, shade, and chronic pain.
So, welcome to Bubble City Productions. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. I took a video production class in college and I completely fell in love with videography and storytelling through digital means. So every video I want to be meaningful and have a purpose behind it. That's the reason why I decided to start out with a week in my life with Ankylosis Spondylitis, which is this video. This is part of a series of videos called the CHRONICles. So I do plan on making more videos about my Ankylosis Spondylitis and all my other comorbidities. So as context, I was diagnosed with Ankylosis Spondylitis officially not too long ago. I'm currently on Enbrel. I took my first shot Monday, so it's going very well. It's featuring an entire week of check-ins. I wanted to get more footage, but honestly, I could barely do the check-ins that week. This is the week prior to my lowest point of my flare-up. I've been in a flare-up since April when I had COVID-19. It's been a struggle. It's been a really bad struggle. And the reason it took so long for me to get on medicine is because I was on methotrexate that wasn't working. I was losing quite a bit of hair, more than I usually do. It just was not working. It started working for the first 2 days and then I would just go right back to where I was before. I was scheduled to have surgery 3 weeks later after I took my last methotrexate. So we just decided stay off of it. My surgery got postponed indefinitely for various reasons. Not going to go into it. But it's just a minor surgery, but I still have to go off of medicine for it. I started researching about Enbrel. Completely scary. My main concern with Enbrel is that I've had 9 brain injuries. One of the side effects of Enbrel is demyelination of neurons. I wasn't sure if having those 9 brain injuries makes me more susceptible to that demyelination. I don't think that's something that any of my doctors could answer or any of the research out there that can answer, so. But it's working. Here's to hoping.
Ankylosis spondylitis is an autoimmune disease that causes vertebrae to fuse. This fusing makes my spine less flexible and causes a Quasimodo-esque posture. Usually only axial joints are affected, so the spine, ribs, neck, and hips. But in some cases, like mine, it spreads out to peripheral joints like the hands and knees, and other parts of the body like my eyeballs. Fatigue, stiffness, and pain are also common. I deal with pain and stiffness in pretty much all of my joints, save for my wrist and ankles. Pain level averages about an 8 out of 10 on most days, and my fatigue is completely off the scales, out of the park. I'm barely functioning. Those of us with AS can take immunosuppressants and TNF inhibitors to slow the progression and lessen the symptoms, but there is no cure. What you're watching is my usual morning routine, but at triple speed. Mondays are my best days since I'm fresh from the weekend, but they're definitely still a struggle. I still gotta hype myself up, but really the only reason I get up anymore are the bills that need to be paid. I usually take a Tylenol about an hour before I actually need to get up to give those drugs some time to work. I then have to shift around to somewhat de-stiffen and position myself at the best angle to use momentum to hoist myself up. I'm an actual piece of lumber this early, so momentum hurts, but it is effective. So like you win some and you lose some. You can see I dropped my legs and used that leverage along with propping on my elbow to get up and shuffle away. Unfortunately, you don't get to see me shuffle away because, well, the angle is completely awful and I'd like to keep a little bit of dignity, and I know you like your eyeballs, so yeah, not today. I feel like rage crying. Today was okay. So I started out with pretty good energy. Like I was sending out those emails. I really was. And keeping up with tasks, but pretty close to like 1:30 is when I started noticing my crash. Just the typical low energy, pain, and needing assistance to walk with a mobility aid. There were a few points where I wanted to rage cry. One thing that I do notice at the end of the day, well actually It starts out okay, but then it starts to increase throughout the day is my glorious eyeballs. They start to get really, really dry, especially like down here on the lid and then the skin of my eyeballs. And then the just general eyeball starts to get dry, so I have to use eye drops. And my vision gets really blurry, and it's hard to focus on things. It takes even more effort to do things and do my work. I'm tired. I'm really tired. It's only like 10:30, maybe 10:15. I've been laying down for the past 2 hours. A little scared to get up. I don't want to get up, and I don't want to wash my face. I don't want to brush my teeth. I'm just too tired to do it. Today was okay. Actually, today was pretty good. Today was a good pain day. I actually worked overtime. So one of the reasons I do that, I call it banking time, and that's where I try to get as many tasks done as possible when I feel good. That's because I know I won't be as productive on a bad pain day or when I have brain fog or my eyes don't focus as much. Today was good. Still sucks, but I'm gonna take it. Really am. I'm gonna take it. Another thing that I forgot to mention is I can run fevers. Usually they're low grade and they happen in the evenings. Sometimes they can get pretty high and they can happen throughout the day. So like right now, my fever is almost 101, but it's like impossible to sleep. I'm in pain constantly. The pain amplifies at night, which is not great. It's really just a matter of finding a position that hurts the least, and that changes every night. My email is blowing up, so the demon behind, just ignore it. I am so sore today. I don't know why. I'm very tired. I went to bed at 2. I got up at 8. So I'm exhausted. What's up? Today is August 12th. I'm exhausted. But this time I jotted down notes so I won't forget what I'm supposed to say. So the consequences of going to bed I hurt a lot physically. Also mentally, my brain feels like there's a belt being wrapped around it. My eyeballs burn and they hurt. Very itchy. I felt sick. I have a sore throat. So I'm hoping that it's just being so long off, and maybe COVID threw me into such a severe flare-up that I'm not going to get better unless I put on some medicine. Other things about today. So I have a lot of brain fog. It was very hard to focus, be productive, and just really think through things at a normal rate. It's very abnormal to be very slow, and it's very frustrating. So whenever I'm slow, I get frustrated because my brain can't keep up, and it's not normal for me, so I get even more frustrated. Night!
Night. I thought you were filming.
I am.
Oh.
So usually I just work through my lunch and just take like longer breaks throughout the day. Today I really needed a nap, and I just spent a whole hour napping. Noticed the past week and a half, my left elbow has felt very off. I can't extend it fully, so it's just kind of hurts to use it. So I thought that it was just because I don't have core muscles anymore, so I'm using my elbows to get up, and I'm pretty heavy. But now my knee feels very much the same way, and it's a little bit swollen, so I'm worried that it's extending out from my core into is it distal or axial, one of the two. It's also in my jaw, my left jaw, so it hurts to open and eat, yawn, sneeze, really anything. Today I was also very reliant on my cane. Very short walk, takes me 10 minutes. So on the weekend, I'm so tired. So even though I sound pretty cheery right now, I'm actually not. I'm so tired.
Even just holding this camera up is very exhausting. She's gorgeous. I love her so much. At like a couple minutes past 11:30 because it took me for freaking forever to freaking set up the freaking camera, and I don't know why the viewfinder is not freaking working out. I really hope this is in focus, it's in frame. If it's not, I don't freaking care. I'm too tired. I'm exhausted. My brain has left the chat. It's like at the moon. No, actually, you know what? It's at freaking Pluto. I woke up and I was just completely exhausted. I could not do anything. It was so hard to freaking focus at work and just complete simple tasks. Like, it took me 10 minutes to write a simple one-sentence email. I'm in a lot of pain. I sneezed once and I thought my spine was going to explode. And same with my ribs. Ragweed was high today, so I was dying. Ugh. My bladder capacity is gone. Like, itty bitty bladder syndrome, what's that? Don't know her because I have no bladder. Ugh. Peeing in general, like even before I got bad, was just a major inconvenience, but now it's like a whole ass chore. I have to get up, I have to get to the bathroom. We all know the drill, but it's even freaking harder when you can't move. This morning I could not get out of bed. I was extremely tired. My brain fog today has just been completely through the roof. I was very reliant on my cane, which is back there. I didn't think that through, because I'm going to need that to get up from this chair. The one thing is once I start moving, I'm actually okay, but as soon as I'm done filming this video, I'm going to be back to being stiff. My neck today is really bad. It's okay right now. I don't know why. I think it's probably because I took a really hot shower and kind of loosened up those muscles and tendons and stuff. Because when your joints hurt, everything else just starts to hurt and it starts to get stiff. It's just a whole freaking snowball effect. Another random note. I think it's the Hashimoto's that is causing my excessive thirst, because I am thirsty all the time. I have to carry a cup with me. I can't keep going like this. It's affecting my work. It's affecting my daily life. As soon as I'm done with work at 5 p.m., I'm checked out. I'm done. I'm not doing anything. I can't keep going like this, and I can't. I hurt. I'm tired. I hurt. I can't function.
We're doing great.
So I can't even talk. Look at the dribble go down my face. Well,
Same.
hello and welcome back to A Week in My Life with Ankylosis Spondylitis and other things. See, she's cute. So it is obviously not the same week, September 7th. I wrote notes about the tail end of that week, so I'm just gonna kind of speed through them a little bit. So Friday, August 14th, I was starting to slide very much downhill, so work was very much a struggle, which is very bad for the position that I'm in. The thing about chronic illness is it does not matter, and it doesn't care what deadlines you have coming up, what events you have. A flare-up happens whenever it wants to happen. You have a bad day whenever it wants to have a bad day. Mom actually went to the ER on Friday afternoon. As I mentioned before, your illness does not care what is happening and what is upcoming or what's happening in your life. When you have a family of people who have chronic illness, or even just 2 people out of 4, it becomes this constant, if I'm having a bad day, mom might have a good day, and then if I'm having a good day, mom might have a bad day, or we both might have bad days simultaneously, and it's just bleh. Too many things can go wrong. She got a concussion, some bruising. She's okay now, but just wanted to make sure, because she also has she has bones of a 90-year-old, so we wanted to make sure that she didn't break anything. That's something that we've learned, is to be adaptable and flexible with ourselves and for our family members. I faced this in my senior year of being flaky. I would start out a day or make these plans and be like, oh yeah, I'll be fine. And then by the time the plans arrive, I'll be like, I absolutely cannot do this. There's also a lot of medical trauma involved with this. There's a lot of PTSD, anxiety, and burnout of just taking care of ourselves, and anxiety of doctors not believing you and your tests not coming back to match what you have, and just anxiety of what's going to happen in the future. There's a lot there to unpack, and that kind of came to a front again on Friday. For Saturday, August 15th, I had some errands to run. I was still very cane reliant because my flare-up is happening during the pandemic. I haven't been going out very much with my cane. This was one of kind of the first prolonged times that I went out with my cane. It was interesting. I've always had problems when I went out with my cane, but this time, it was during a pandemic too. So people would touch me a lot. People also really rush to help, which is usually okay as long as it's not touching you or invading your space. If you see someone with a mobility device bending to pick something up, ask, hey, do you want me to get that for you? People are also more apt to, at least here in Oklahoma, they don't really wear their masks properly, if they are wearing masks. But they're more apt when they see you coming to actually put that mask on or fix it or stay their distance from you. So I was very appreciative of that, but I feel if I didn't have that visible kind of reminder of, hey, there's something wrong with me, people wouldn't be so kind. I felt judged sometimes, but this time I almost felt like people were like, how could you put your life in danger? I felt that people were like, oh, she's faking it. But I've never felt the, how could you put your life in danger judgment. It's hard to say not to assume people's thoughts, but you can kind of read it on their faces. People also stare a lot. A reminder, please be safe when you do go out. Only go out when you have to. Wear your mask properly, and not just covering the tip of your nose. It needs to be up here. But I was completely exhausted by the time I got home. I napped for a while. I was basically done for the rest of the day. That was my service to society, and I was not doing anything else. So Sunday, I didn't write notes. Yeah, and I don't really remember anything else from that day besides pain and fatigue.
For my energy level and symptom progression throughout the week, a phone battery is the best descriptor I can think of. Starting out at 80%, Mondays are usually my best days. I'm fresh from the weekend and entering a more structured day at work. My symptoms are manageable, and my pain is very much present, but workable. But it's a steady decline throughout the week, so Tuesday is 65%. My symptoms and pain gradually start to increase. I have to get up more frequently, I need more coffee, and I'm definitely more agitated. This is also when I start completely checking out after work. Wednesday is 50%. I'm punching my ticket for the struggle bus. Symptoms and pain are starting to conflict with my daily functions. I use my lunch as a nap hour, and absolutely do not expect anything from me after work because I can't do it. Thursday is 35%. I am utterly exhausted, so no matter how much sleep I get, it's just a struggle to make it through the day. And sometimes I can't even do skincare or brush my teeth. It's disgusting, I know, but it's reality. Fridays are when I get the notification of 20% when normal, sane people select the low battery mode. However, I do have the adrenaline rush of entering the weekend, which is really the only reason I can get through the day. Saturday and Sundays are my recharging days. I don't really do anything since it takes me so long to recharge. Regardless of how little I do, I still never make it to 100%. I always stay around 70 to 80% and live in a constant vicious cycle of quick to drain and slow to charge. It's frustrating to always be exhausted, and little things like showering and making lunch takes too much of my energy, so I'm required to choose between productive at work or doing personal things like studying for the GRE or even showering. Outside of work, I really don't have a life because I'm too tired and I hurt too much, so I don't really go out with anybody. I actually don't really have friends here in Oklahoma because I don't have the energy to make and maintain new relationships. If I had the choice, like right now, I would be in bed. Pain on a daily basis that week was usually an 8 to 10 on a daily basis with Tylenol, which sounds pretty extreme. When you deal with this for a couple years on a daily basis, you just learn to live with it. And you also learn to function and appear normal to other people. And that's why I check out after work, because it takes so much effort. Masking is very tiring. It's exhausting because you're pretending you're fine when you're not, and you're pretending you have an energy and productivity level that meets capitalist society thresholds when you don't have that in you. I don't know about anyone else, but I very much feel like a shell. It's exhausting. I'm also very forgetful and I can't really think things through. And another thing that is kind of problematic for me, at least, is I'm such a future-oriented person. I'm always making like 10-year plans and stuff. With this, there's no going forward because there's no energy to deal with that. Survive today and then deal with tomorrow when it happens. Try not to snap at my family and my friends too much. And that's another thing is I'm very agitated and I have a very short fuse now, where I used to not have that problem, because I'm always at like an 8 to 10 on a pain out of a 10 pain scale. That would make anyone very angry all the time. This wraps up my week in my life. This is part 1 of the Chronicles. As I mentioned in my intro, there will be a video with more context. This is just showcasing what my week is like, because there's not a lot of videos out there about ankylosis spondylitis and like first-hand accounts. As someone who progressed very rapidly and very severely at a young age, I felt very alone in that. So I'm hoping that this video helps someone realize that you are not alone. What does that look like? What are the other symptoms of ankylosis spondylitis? What is it like having comorbidities? These chronic illnesses are oftentimes invisible, especially when you're on medicines like Enbrel or methotrexate, but it doesn't mean that it's gone. So I wanted to hopefully create a community. I really hope that this video helps someone not feel as alone as I did and not feel as isolated. I also do plan on touching on the mental health aspects of having chronic illness, what masking entails, more in detail than what I touched on in this video. Yeah, welcome to Bubble City. I'm excited to have you here.